Guys, welcome to my channel. Before going to this video, let's please like, share and subscribe this channel. So now let's move on to this topic. Today we are going to learn about crop production and management, which is in class 8 science work in chapter, which is the chapter 1. Just say bye to formulas, only fun learning. So before going to this chapter, we have some common questions, right? How is food produced? From where do these food comes? And what is done to get food? How much time? What is needed? Who does this? Where it happens? What are the process happens before packaging, right? So that you will get all these answers in this lesson after this video. Just spend little time to master concepts, large concepts. Okay. So now let's move on to this chapter. The first question, where do these food comes from? Actually, the answer is these comes from farm. What is a farm? A place where a large amount of food is cultivated. Actually, you could heard that your mothers will say that I need to get the wheat crop, or otherwise you can take the lesson name. We came to find that the lesson name is crop production, right? What is crop? When a large scale, that is when a large amount of one food is cultivated, that is called a crop. For example, if you are going in a village, you could see a field full of wheat, that is called a crop. And production and management of food is called agricultural practices. What is agricultural practices, right? That is the production just from a seed to a plant and managing and protecting it from many diseases, right? We as our parents do, right? Like that the plants could also come up with many diseases, plant diseases from bacteria and fungi and not other these and some other plants, right? Protecting them is called agricultural practices. As every occupation has as everything has an occupation name, right? Like that this occupation is called as agriculture. And before going to this chapter, we need to just get one thing properly. Then we need to know one thing. What is a food, right? A food is the thing which we eat. But you could see your mothers cooking in your kitchen, right? Does every food gets added with spices naturally? No. So what is a food? So we need to prepare food. So where do these spices comes from, right? So that's what you are going to learn in this chapter. As every spice, substance, anything which is used to make a food needs to take a large processes. Such as the main food for chapati is wheat. As wheat has a large process, right? And for eating your favorite fried rice or sambar rice, you need rice. For it also we need to make a large process. Even you take up of a spice like salt, chili powders and everything, you need some processes. That's what food is. So now let's move on to the next topic, which is why are all foods are not available in all seasons. You could see that your mother will be stacking most of the wheat packets in your place cupboards, right? Did you ever think that why does she stacks everything? But now stores are there, so they will stack the products in the stores. But do you all know that nature of every crops is different? Does every crops does not grow at every season. For example, if you take up of your favorite mango, that mango doesn't get in all seasons. Would you find mangoes in rainy season in any shops? It's impossible. You could only find in summer. Why do you know? Because every crop has a unique thing. As sometimes it need more sunlight and some crops need less sunlight. So like that a wheat which is a crop which needs more sunlight and does not grow in rainy season. Because in rainy season it needs a lack of sunlight, right? There will be lack of sunlight, so it doesn't get the proper sunlight. And another one is that it doesn't need so many water sources. So if there is more rain, what happens? The crops will just rough. Then the crops will not be used, right? It will be waste of time and waste of energy. So as every categories, you could see that, right? If there is fruits as mangoes. These are categorized in the name of fruits, and whereas some are categorized in the name of vegetables. So as everything has a unique category name, like that these types of crops also has a unique category name, which is called kharif crop and rabi crops. What are kharif crops? The crops that grow during rainy season are called kharif crops. For example, gram, pulses, something like that. In rabi crops, the crops that grow during winter season, you could add wheat in that, as wheat is a rabi crop. So you could not get a confusion in which type of crops grow in which types of season, right? So this will clarify you. So the next we are going to see is what is done to get food. As now we have clarified all your doubts and what is a food and when does it grow, we need to know how to grow food, right? So this some processes will be there. What are the processes? Let's know. The preparation of soil, sowing, adding manure or fertilizers, irrigation, protecting from weeds, harvesting and storage. These are the process in which we could get food. So in this video I will explain all these topics and you could know more about these. So now let's move on to the first thing, which is preparation of soil. This is the first step and most important step, as how to prepare soil is the important question we get in our minds. That is, using two methods we can do it. These two methods are not optional. These two must be done so that we could get a great and better soil. What are the two methods are ploughing and tiling. What is ploughing? In this name you could get something, right? What is it? That is breaking of large clumps into fine soil. What is that? You could find many lumps of soil, and if you break down that, you could get you could plant a plant so that the roots will grow very freely and can breathe easily. That is what done in ploughing. And what is tiling? It seems to be here, right? As in our homes they used to apply tiles. What does it does? The tiles give a proper level, right? As tiling, it prefers that leveling. What is leveling? As you could break down all these, in one place there will be more lumps, in one place there will be very small lumps. So what happens if you break down it, and in one place you could get more soil and in another place you could not get more soil. So this problem is solved using the process called tiling. In this process you could make a beautiful and smooth finishing level. And also in tiling, what they do is they used to do rotation of soil. What is rotation of soil is that as in under the ground you could get more nutrients. So what if the underground soil comes to the upper part, the plant could grow well, right? That is the need of rotation of soil. So next we are going to learn about the instruments used in these two. As the instruments used are ploughing. For ploughing we use plough in cultivator. So it's the easiest way to remember. For ploughing we use the plough and also an instrument called cultivator. And for tiling, as I said, the two processes in tiling, rotation of soil and leveling, the instrument is called leveler. So next let's move on to the next thing, sowing. What is sowing? It is the important of all, because if there is no seeds and there will be no crops or plants, right? So seeds are sown into the soil from which a new plant grows. The instruments used are traditional tool and seed drill, as you could see it in many places, right? And what is the importance of sowing, right? So if you sow inside the soil, so that you could get a plant from the soil. If you take up of a seed and put above surface of the soil, what happens? Many insects and everything feeds on the seeds, and just there will be nothing. If you take a small pit and put the seed inside it and close the soil, so that the root will come and there will be no disturbance for seeds, because no animals will be digging and eating. So one question, as you could eat any foods, if you see in any packages you could find ISO certified, like that you could find many things, right? Is a seed is ISO certified, right? Everything must be certified, right? This is good and this is not good, right? Like that, seed can be tested through a process by ourselves. If we don't believe on others, we can definitely test it. Thus, it is a small and easiest process. What does it is? Take some seeds, put it in a beaker with water. The seeds which sink are good and healthy. How do you say? If you take up of a stone and put it in a beaker with water, what happens? The stone goes down because it's heavier. What if you put a piece of paper? It will float because it's not so weightful, right? That's what here also we will also use the same thing to verify. As the seed which floats on the water doesn't have any nitrogen particles and nothing, so if you sow that floating seeds, then there will be no plant. If you take the seed which is sunk and if you plant it, then you could get a beautiful plant. So next, let's see, we are going to see about manure and fertilizer. What is a manure and fertilizer? As you are eating food, why you are eating food? To get nutrients, right? Like that, these plants need to get nutrients so that those humans who we are eating, right, we will get nutrients. So these are manure and fertilizer are nutrient suppliers. As the soil doesn't have each and every nutrients, something cannot be gotten in the soil, right? That's what given by the manure and fertilizer. The nutrients which are not in the soil are given by the manure and fertilizers. As we are hearing these two words, right? Manure and what is fertilizer? What is manure and what is fertilizer? What are the differences between them? As manure is a natural substance, whereas fertilizer is an inorganic soil. What is an inorganic soil? Which is man-made and it's like a one type of salt. Okay, manure is got from decomposition of animal waste and plant waste. If you take up of a cow dung, if you put a cow dung for few hours and you could see some microorganisms doing something like worms and everything will be present in the cow dung. What does it does? It makes the cow dung into manure. Low cost, there is no cost for manure, right? It's a natural thing. For example, vegetable peels and kitchen waste, that is what we say biodegradable waste. Most of the biodegradable waste are turned into manure, and which is a good nutrient supplier for the plants and animals. As it's so cheap, do we get cow dung for cost? No, right? We don't get manure for giving cost, right? There is free of cost manure and it's natural, and if we add more manure, no problem. There is no problem for the plant and even we humans. But fertilizer is not like that. Fertilizer prepared in factories and we need to give some cost to get it, and this is an inorganic and it's man-made, right? So if we use it more, it is not good for nature, and if it mixes with water, definitely it's not good for consuming for our humans and even animals and plants. So if you now we have talked about soil. So what if soil loses every nutrients? That is what we are going to check. So is this a weak soil or good soil? If a crop is cultivated continuously for 10 to 17 years, what happens? The soil loses every nutrients and there will be no nutrient. If we add how many manures, if we add or fertilizer, if you add, no, the soil will not be get its nutrients, because we can't replenish the nutrients given by the nature. As nature has something special, right? What if the nutrients in the soil loses? We are not able to give it. So we can do one thing. What is it is, right? We can give some we can leave the land fallow, and not only fallow, we can give it time to grow, for time to leave and put it completely out, so that it will be easy for it to get replenish its nutrients. And or otherwise we can grow leguminous plants such as a gram plant, because these are a very good in nutrition and nitrogen capturing. As you could heard that a plant in which nitrogen you could get, right, rhizobium, the bacteria which stays in leguminous plants, so it will improve the soil's